minutes to 1 hour, when we sit for them, when we listen to them, make them feel like, yes, I'm here as a colleague to listen to you, please speak. And there are so many who are working on, so many who are coming up for the first time and doing a public speaking or doing a presentation like this. This attitude is what I really liked in all the participants. Every day around 40 people turn around. I really wish that there is a full house participation, but unfortunately a few, because of their own reasons, are not coming. I can force all of you to come, but that is not our idea. I wanted all of you to come and learn something and also show our respect and acceptance for our teammates. That's the purpose. Those who are missing, I wish they also understand this and turn up hereafter at least. And about MUN, it's mostly like, what to say, for the students very much useful, but also as a teacher to have yourself abreast of international relations, international affairs, and how you can update yourself. Knowing about MUN will definitely be handy for you. And Miss our Mahalakshmi ma'am, who's responsible for MUN of our school, she has got big plans this year to conduct MUN in our own campus, and she's doing enough research and studying a lot of literature about it. So let us hear from her what she has got to offer about MUN. And MUN, you have just put as MUN. A few of my friends, seeing my status, they called and asked, what is that MUN? Uh, uh, the promo is intriguing. They said like it is really interesting. We are interested to know. We have never heard of MUN, because they didn't understand this is a model United Nation. They thought it is one of the teaching concepts. They are asking me, what is it? Can we also join? The poster has come out well. Thanks to Martin, thanks to Ponmalar, thanks to Revati for really keeping up the curiosity alive for whoever is seeing that. And over to you, Mahalakshmi ma'am. All the very best for this evening.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Good evening, friends. Today I'm going to take you to the session of MUN. I know that most of you know about MUN, but you all don't know in depth about what is MUN. You might have heard about our school students participating in MUN for past 2 years, and from various organizations. They go to various schools. We had been to Yuvarti School and CS Academy for the past 2 years, and they had gained a very good experience. Now I'm going to tell you what is MUN, how important it is for the students to get into the MUN, main aim and goal of MUN. And yeah, I'm going to give you an overview of what is MUN. I will, Revati, shall I share my screen, Revati? Revati, shall I share my screen?
Go ahead, ma'am.
Oh, 1 moment. Yeah, coming to Model United Nations, our school had already participated, our school students had already participated in 2 MUNs, and the first picture shows that the first time our school students participated in IIMUN, in Indian International Model United Nations program, which was held at Yuvarti School in Coimbatore. And starting with Model United Nations, I would like to begin with what is United Nations. United Nation, yes, you all know about what is United Nation. I'm just giving a brief information about it. Why? Because MUN is completely an simulation of what is United Nation. So United Nations is an intergovernmental organization that aims to maintain international peace and security, develop friendly relationship among nations, achieve international cooperation, and be a center for harmonizing the actions of nations, where delegates, representatives of that particular country, where delegates from all the member countries who discuss on few agendas and real-time issues in respective committees and bring out solution for the issue at hand. So this is the main aim of United Nation. The United Nation is actually an international organization which was founded in 1945, and it is currently made up of 193 member states, which has the United Nations headquarters is in New York City. And the main aim of this United Nations again is it provides a forum for its members to express their views in General Assembly, Security Council, Economic and Social Councils. These are the committees, or sorry, these are the organs. The United Nations has 6 main organs which works under which works under this United Nations. And the chief administrative officer of this United Nations, that is the head of United Nations, would be the Secretary General. Secretary General is a chief administrative officer. And India got its admission in United Nations by 30th October 1945. And this 2020 marks the 75th anniversary of United Nations. So this is about United Nations. Coming to MUN, Model United Nations. Model United Nations is also known as Model UN or MUN, MUN, short form of Model United Nation. It is actually an extracurricular activity in which students typically role play delegates to the United Nations and stimulate UN community. So this activity takes place at MUN clubs, and it has been organized by usually by high schools or colleges and MUN clubs. At the end of most conferences, outstanding delegates in each committee will be recognized and awarded with the certificates. And this Model United Nations is an simulation, that is a similar of what actual United Nations conference is. It works similar to what actual United Nations conference is, where students are tasked with solving a global issues. So students are given a task of solving a global issue through research. They do it through research, drafting, lobbying, and debate to pass a suitable resolution. So this is a short description on what is MUN, and it also helps the students to role play as a diplomat representing different nations. Okay, representing different nations. Here, students take on the roles of delegates, speakers, sometimes as a chairs, representing different countries, and work together with other students from different backgrounds to take part in the discussion and reach a solution for the agenda they are assigned with. This is the main purpose of MUN. And how popular MUNs in India is. So it is estimated that 4 lakh students worldwide every year participate in MUN at all education levels, right, starting from primary schools to university level. So in recent year, it is found that Indian model United Nations has circuit has explored with conferences happening every weekend, and sometimes multiple conferences happens on the same dates. And the peak session for this Indian Model United Nations would be probably from the month of January to March, and few organizations sets it up or by the month of August to November. So it is stated that minimum 200 conferences are held every year in India since 2012. So this is about the how popular MUN in India is. Next, pre-conference. So before going to the conference, how students get registered to the conference. Different organizations come up with different sort of MUNs. There are different types of MUN, and different MUNs are held, like for example IIMUN, Harvard Model United Nations, MUN for India, Model United Nations for India. And the organization would be like Worldview. That is one organization. IIMUN itself goes with the conducting the Model United Nations. So like this, there would be many organizations which offers it, and it would be offered by the universities or the schools. It is up to the students. They can choose whichever the organization they would like to go with. And a pre-registration, sorry, pre-conference, a registration has to be done. How students get enrolled in the MUN. So first, the students has to give their names along with their email ID and contact details. So they get enrolled, and each participants will be given an ID card and other necessary materials once they are registered into that. And along with that, they would also give some online training session, study materials as a supplement for the research. After the registration is completed, committee allotments, committee and agendas will happen. So how they come up with committees? Here is, so committee and agendas. Each committee will deal with a particular each committee will deal with a particular topic. So that is called as agenda. An agenda or topics taken up during the MUN or a reflection of real world issues discussed actually in United Nations. So this is called as agenda, or the topic which they have taken in MUNs. And it may range from general topic to a specific topic. So it will have discussion on both of general topic as well as in specific topic. And each committee deals with a particular topic, that is agenda, which is allotted accordingly. Next, Model United Nations committees usually stimulate United Nations committees. So the committees what the MUN has is similar committees what the United Nations has. For example, we are WHO, World Health Organization. So World Health Organization is responsible for international public health. So the agenda for World Health Organization might be like addressing the vaccine hesitancy, and coming to UNDP, United Nations Development Program. This is one committee where its main aim is it advocates for change and connect countries to knowledge, experience, and resource to help people build a better life for themselves. So the agenda they may come up with is like integrating development process in the least developed countries to help them achieve sustainable development goals. Similar to that, HRC, Human Rights Council. This is also a committee where they might come up with an agenda like the right to privacy in digital age. So these are the committees, and this is how the agendas would be planned. Now, important thing, important person in this MUN is a delegate. So who is a delegate? A delegate is a person selected to represent a group of people in some political assembly. This is general definition, or political assembly of United Nations. This is general. Here, MUN, a delegate in a Model United Nations conference, is a participant who represents a country other than their country of origin, who represents a country other than their own country of origin, and deliberates on issues from the country's perspective and not from the delegate's perspective or point of view. So this is the exact role of delegate. So he the delegate, he or she acts as a representative for that particular country. And though they are from a different country, they would act or they would speak in favor of, or they would speak under the country's perspective, the country which was allotted to them. So they speak in that perspective and not from the delegate perspective as a point of view. And the delegates are there to represent the different countries in the committees and countries' views and opinion. So this is about delegate. Next is an important thing is when it comes to model United Nation, modern United Nation would always follow a disciplined manner. So when it comes to United Nations also, it follows an every procedure in the United Nations or model United Nations will have certain disciplined way to follow. So in that way, no delegate or no student would be called by their names. They would be called by their country which they have selected, which they are representing for. So in that case, what does this placard is? It contains, this placard will contain the country the delegate represents, which the delegate has to carry till the end of the session. Because since it contains the country the delegate represents, so he or she, the delegate who gets it, has to carry this till the end of the session. And the delegates are supposed to raise their placards in order to get recognized by the chairperson. So they would, in the session or in a committee, no students will be pointed out or recognized by their individual names. Instead, they would be recognized only with the country which they represent. So the delegates are supposed to raise their placards in order to get recognized by the chairperson in the committee. So coming to the committee, committee is an house, a particular, it is also called as house, where it will have a maximum of 50 members, 50 delegates in a committee. I'll tell you in detail how it goes. Next, another important person here is, apart from delegate, chairperson. Chairperson is actually a director of committee. He will act as a director of a committee and shall preside over its session. So he is the responsible person to carry forward the entire session. So he shall declare the opening and closure of each session, open and close floor to the points and motions. Points and motion, I'll tell you in the next coming slides. So the chairperson will act as a head of that particular committee, not head of the entire MUN. He will act as a head of that particular committee. So each committee is presided over by a So each committee is presided over by a chairperson or a chair, whose role is to keep the debate running. And usually this chairperson is of a student or officer who is very experienced with Model United Nations, who might have attended a number of Model United Nations and well versed with the procedure of Model United Nations. Block. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, there is some disturbance, like there are parents calling me.
It's okay, ma'am. You're audible.
Shall I continue, Revi? Shall I
Yes,
continue?
ma'am. Yes.
Ma'am, you can put your mobile in the airplane mode so that you will not get
If,
any
if I
message.
go with aeroplane mode, my network, I'm
Yeah,
doing
Network
network
will be
problem,
disconnected.
yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Or
Or
Network will
otherwise
be
you can put your mobile in DND. Okay, ma'am, no problem.
Okay. Shall I continue, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. You can.
Coming to the preparation. So how one student go for in preparation to get into the conference? How a student should prepare for getting into the conference? And this is very, very important task. Just getting the committee allotted with the committees, getting the portfolio is one important thing. But how the students get prepared for this committee, to attend this committee as a delegate. So first thing is the committee and topics would be pre-assigned for a student. So based on the committee, the students are going to do an detailed research on the committee, and they should be aware of the purpose and limitation of the committee. This is important. And then they will have to study on the topic. I told you in the beginning itself, they will have a topics or agenda based on, like, it may be a general or specific. So they will have to have a study guide and recent news updates. They have to be updated on the recent news on that particular topic at hand. And one more important thing is they have to do and research and be aware of their country's stance on the topic. So for that, what they're going to do is they has to get a solid idea of government, economy, conflicts of that particular country, know their heads of state, and GDP, that is gross domestic products information, major military and political allies, and conflicts that persist in and around their country. And they will have to make a notes of all these information, and they will have to be thorough with this information. They will have to make a small document about their general foreign policy on various issues. So they will not only speak with the particular topic or related to the topic, they will speak in all the aspects. They will speak on various issues with all the aspects, many aspects. And they will have to make a documents ready before going to the committees. Then the research on the agenda provided. Then they will have to do a research. First research has to be done on the committee, and then they will committee and the country. Then they will do the research on the agenda provided in a depth manner by collecting data from trusted sources and synthesize them into a perfect speech. That is group discussion. When it comes to general speakers list, they will be allowed to speak. So they will have to prepare this information and carry a document with them to have a flow in the committee. And important thing is they have to collect points on various aspects regarding the agenda, especially the countries. That is very, very important. So this is how the student had to prepare for MUN. Then objectives of Model United Nation. So what is the main objective of this Model United Nation? Is the Model United Nation is to seek through discussion, negotiation, and debate solution to various problems of the world. So in this process, the participating students learn to adapt views and attitudes other than their own and break away from the narrow national interest and develop international cooperation. This is very, very important when it comes to MUN. So the main objective of MUN is like they have to seek through discussion, negotiation, and debate and solution to the various problems of the world. And the research and presentation involved in Model United Nations would be the negotiation and debate, which will give why they go with this negotiation and debate is it's this way of this negotiation and debate will give the young people an insight into the world's problem and enable them to understand the cause of conflict between the nations. And it also acts an ideal tool to sensitize students to the needs of the future. This is also one of an objective of MUN, as well as it develops the critical leadership skills such as public speaking, critical thinking, conflict resolution, and many more. And MUN also aims to build more accessible platform for MUN conferences across the country for students to be challenged, be inspired, and reflect on the same. And it boosts the confident level. It will make the student more confident, and it will make aware of all that is going around the world, how difficult it is to sit down. And this MUN will also give an awareness how difficult it is to sit down and solve worldly problem in the conference room. And it brings out the awareness of how history is made and future is being, how future is secured. So these are the main objectives of United Nations, Model United Nations. Now I'm taking you into the procedure of what is the exact procedure running in the Model United Nation. First is to take the procedure. I would like to add one of an student from our school, that is Sri Ram, who was actually recognized as the best delegates from all the 2 MUNs which he has attended. So he would be there to give a few examples related to the procedure. Why? Because he was the one who acted as a delegate, and he experienced many things in the conference hall. So I would like to join Sriram with me. Sriram, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Coming to the procedure of running an Model United Nation, first thing is roll call. Roll call is similar to the attendance what we take at every session. At the beginning of the session, how do we take the attendance? So when the conference begins in the committee, there will be a roll call which happens, like the strength of the delegates will be measured. Like minimum strength of the house must be of 1/3 of total strength to start any session. That is, if 50 students are allotted for that particular committee, at least 25 or 20 more students has to be present. Delegates has to be present to start the session. So this is one of a rule under the Model United Nations. And next is the speakers list. Then at the first session, speakers list. Speakers list is a place where a delegate expresses his or topic area. So here the speaker will get a chance to express, the delegate will get a chance to express his or her view, her country on the topic area related to their country, related to their particular country which they are representing for. And with the time limit, there is a time limit given. With the time limit, the speaker will be allowed to speak, and usually the time limit for speaker list allotted by the chair would be, or any committee would be, 90 seconds. So 90 seconds will be allotted for every speakers. So they have to continue with. And to begin the debate, the chair will ask if any delegates wish to be added to general speakers list. So when they raise the placards, so he would add the names according to the alphabetic order. The chair would choose it. And when it goes with the speakers list, the speakers list, when the general speakers list continues, there is certain yielding time which is given. That's a privilege which is given to a delegate. So let me tell you what is an yielding time. Yielding is, for example, if a delegate is given 90 seconds, usually a delegate at the speakers list will be given 90 seconds, allotted with 90 seconds. If that particular delegate finish off his speech within 30 seconds, if he finishes off with 30 seconds, so the remaining 60 seconds, he can spare it to next person, or he can spare it in these 3 ways. That is, yield to comment, yield to question, yield to chair, yield to another delegate. So yield to comment is where the rest of the time for the chairs to recognize, pass the the delegates to pass the comments, and the chair will recognize 2 or 3 seconds comments. So this is yield to comments. Yield to question. The same time, the delegates, if he finishes his speech by 30 seconds, so rest of 60 seconds he may give for the delegates to ask questions related to the topic, or to related to the topic what he spoke. And next is yield to chair. This time is passed on to chair, where usually he moves it to the other delegate to start with the speakers list. And yield to another delegate, where the same procedure, similar to what yield to chair is. So the time of a delegate would be given to the other delegate. So they can have 90 plus this 60 seconds. This is about yielding procedure. And along with yielding procedure, points. So during the course of debate, the following points are in order. So what is point is, every MEN session, every committees will have an evaluation done on the delegates. So how do they evaluate is based on the evaluation will be based on the points, like how they behave in the committee, how they speak, how they sit, how they stand, how they converse with the other delegates, how they respond to the answer, how disciplined manner they are. Based on this, the evaluation part will be done. So in regards to that, the points will be points of orders will be followed in the floor. So points of personal privilege, points of parliamentary inquiry, and point of order, point of information. These are the 4 types of points which will flow in the committee. So point of personal privilege is when a speaker, if other delegate is speaking, when this delegate is not audible and the other delegate is not able to listen to what the speaker is telling, or not clear with what the delegate is speaking, in that case, he can come with point of personal privilege. So he can also get excuse from the committee with this personal point of personal privilege. Next is point of parliamentary inquiry. So parliamentary inquiry, this is a time where he cannot interrupt any speaker, any delegates in between. So he can directly ask the chairperson or the executive board for any procedures. If a person is a new delegate, if a delegate is very new to the committee, he doesn't know the complete procedure, doesn't know what to proceed, how to proceed next. In that case, he can go with point of parliamentary inquiry. The chair will be helping that particular delegate to move on. And next is point of order. So this is like this is to point out the procedural inconsistency or a deviation from existing rules of procedure. If any delegates found that they are completely deviating out of the topic or out of the agenda what they have been assigned with, in that case, point of order is passed. And point of information is this point of information helps to clarify any factual inaccuracy in delegate space. That is, if one delegate finds that the other delegate has misstated a particular fact, he has misstated a particular fact, after the completion of the delegate's speech, he can raise up the placard and being recognized by the chair. So he may ask for a valid documentation supporting the delegate's fact. So this is called as point of information, and that will be done by the chair. So next process in the floor is with regards to point is passing motion. In every MEN's debates, delegates make motion for 2 things, that is moderated caucus and unmoderated caucus. Before taking you to the moderated caucus and unmoderated caucus, let me tell what is motions. Motions are nothing but a request or suggestion of a delegate for the committee to do something as a whole. And after a number of delegates go with the general speakers list, they have completed with the general speakers list, the chair will open the floor for motion. That is, they can start up with their topics. They can discuss in detail about the topics. So that happens in 2 ways. One is moderated caucus and unmoderated caucus. So moderated caucus, it's a detailed discussion on subtopic. It's a detailed discussion on subtopic of the main agenda. And the main reason on starting a moderated caucus is to know the committee's opinion on such issues. And a motion for moderated caucus requires a simple majority to pass, similar to how the bill passing method happens in passing an act. Similar to that, every moderated caucus, unmoderated caucus amendments will be followed by voting procedure. And since Sriram Sriram has experience of being a real delegate and faces moderated caucus and all these procedures, I would like to call Sriram to take up this. Sriram, can you please explain this with an instance, with an example of how exactly moderate caucus runs?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for having me here today. So, MUN is all about debates. So, as ma'am said, debates are of two types in MUN. One goes like moderated caucus and one unmoderated caucus. So, moderated caucus is more like a formal debate. So, there will be a discussion going on some specific topic. In case if the main agenda which was given to us is going to be women trafficking, so maybe the sub agenda which the delegate is wishing to discuss will be women trafficking in international borders. So it may be some other subtopic. So whenever a moderated caucus is started by a delegate or proposed by a delegate, it is only because he wants to direct the whole committee or the whole house towards one specific issue, to throw light on that issue, so that all other people, all other delegates who are present there, can get to know what the country is suffering from such specific issue. So this is usually shorter. So whenever a delegate wants to start a moderated caucus, the floor has to be open for motions. So when is the floor open for motion, that will be decided by the chair. So the chair, whenever he states to the committee that the floor is open for motions, the delegates can raise their placard first. So once they are raising their placards, they will be recognized by the chair in no particular order. Then the requested delegate should stand up and just say a fixed phrase. That is, if I was the delegate of India, I would say the statement which I am going to say. It's like, the delegate of India would like to start a moderated caucus on topic women trafficking in India for time duration of 30 minutes and each delegate getting 5 minutes. So whenever a delegate is starting a moderated caucus or proposing for a moderated caucus, he has to say which topic the committee must be directed and in which timing the moderated caucus has to end and how much time each speakers get. And this is better than GSL. GSL is speakers list, which ma'am said. Moderated caucus are better than GSL because in GSL there will be a point of view given by a delegate, but in a moderated caucus it gives some specific ideas and root causes for all the problems. So that is why a formal form of debate, that is moderated caucus, is very important in an MUN. So by doing this, all the delegates will be having more ideas on how a specific country is suffering in that particular aspect, and they can form better solutions for that. So this is how a moderated caucus functions. And over on to Mahalakshmi.
Thank you, Sriram. So this is about the moderated caucus. And next is unmoderated caucus. So unmoderated caucus, this is when the committee feels the need to discuss or decide upon a particular issue, as we discussed in the moderated caucus. When moderated caucus goes on, so this will also be in flow. And this is when the committee feels that they need to discuss or decide upon a particular issue in an informal way. So it is similar to what the break session. So here the delegates will be left for lobbying, debating, for preparing a resolution, drafting resolution in a rough manner, preparing working paper. All these things will happen during this unmoderated caucus. And it basically provides in procedure for delegates to help them from working paper, drafting resolution, and form blocks. Blocks is something where a group of countries or a political parties with common interests who have formed an alliance. This is called as a blocks. Okay. Next is working paper. Sriram, can you
Yes,
just brief us
I
about
can.
this working paper, as you have an experience of making the
Yes.
working paper there?
I would like you to go on to the blocks
Mm.
slide once again, ma'am.
Yes.
So blocks are of two types, especially it is geographical or it can be uh, a group of many people, as ma'am said. So geographical in the sense it can be a block of African group, or it can be a South American block, or North American block, or Asian block. So these are group of countries who are placed near geographically. So they can form a block because their solutions might favor each other. So other cases when 20 or 30 countries who are in a committee who are in different geographical positions find their interests are same, or if they're having similar stance, so what they can do is they can form a block together. So the important thing in an MUN is block formation, the primary thing, because only when you form blocks, you will get a group of people to vote on a similar topic. Usually, what happens in a conference when we go first is there will be lack of cooperation between delegates. There will be clash of opinion. So one delegate will not support for the other delegate in order to raise a moderated caucus or any other discussion. But when there are blocks formed, they all together vote on one moderated caucus or many successive moderated caucus, so the committee runs smoothly. So that is the purpose of blocks and unmoderated caucus. And one more thing is blocks, when formation of blocks are happening, that is when a delegate can be seen to exhibit his leadership quality and at the same time his diplomacy. So when I say leadership quality, it is not just about grouping people from all the places, it is also to hold the blocks. So when a session is running on, once we have formed the block, in case if there is any issues in between, people will jump from one block to other block. So a leader of that block should be capable of holding the same block till the end, because only when you have a block, it will give you an advantage at the end, because you need uh, the strength of the whole committee to support you, because only when you have majority in voting, you get permission for your moderated caucus or unmoderated caucus, or let it be a resolution. So block formations are very important aspect of an MUN. And in unmoderated caucus, which I wanted to add is, it won't last more than 15 minutes, because it's just an informal way of discussion. We can use internet only at that point of time, and we can discuss with other people. We can just move outside of the committee and come inside also. That is the place where networking takes place. We will talk with other people whom we don't even know till then. So this won't last than 15 minutes, because it is not that important. Once the blocks are formed, unmoderated caucus will be started in between moderated caucus, maybe twice or thrice, not more than that. Yes. Over on to Mahalakshmi.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sriram. You have given a detailed description on what is a block formation. So after block formation, the next step is working paper. Working papers is roughly termed as a pre-resolution document, where during this blocks or during this unmoderated caucus, they would draft and resolution. So that is called as working paper. And it is a document which contains all sort of solutions. Contextually, it is similar to the resolution, but without any formalities. This is about the working paper. And next is resolution. So the last thing about in a conference is any delegates in a committee can write the resolution. So resolution writing is very, very important. The author of resolution is called as a sponsor. The person who writes the resolution is also called as a sponsor. Most of resolution will have multiple sponsors, because it takes a group of countries to share good ideas and come to a decision. So that is a wide topic. So I'm just going to brief you on what is why is very important resolution taking, resolution drafting. So the ultimate purpose of committee session is to pass a resolution. Any debate, all the debates and which goes on the floor. So the ultimate purpose of committee session is to pass a resolution. So all the speeches, debates, negotiation, and teamwork is supposed to be led up to the resolution, which contains all the proposed solution to the issue. So this is very, very important when it comes to the committees. And the resolution that the majority of all the committees agrees upon will be passed during voting blocks. same procedure, which I said you in the beginning, like how a bill passing method happens. The same way it happens. So, and the sponsors will be informally commended for building on good ideas, for building bringing out on good ideas. This is about the resolution, and the resolution drafted will have to undergo certain formalities. It has two classes. It has preferable phrases, which is of like this. You can see this. This is how a drafted committee will be, very, very formal way. This is the compulsory way for drafting a resolution in MUN. And no delegates can just roughly do it. So there should be a specified person to take up this challenge and draft it. This is a procedure. So they can't deviate from giving the resolution, drafting a resolution in any different way. So this is how they'll have to do it. And it requires two important things, that is classes, which is used in resolution. This classes may be of preambulatory class and operative class. So preambulatory class and requires certain phrases. These classes, which are in introduction to the resolution or solution, and often refers to a past resolution, which will have certain classes how to start, which will have certain phrases how to start it. The same way, operative classes will also have certain phrases which contains the actual solution to the agenda or crisis. So operative classes, these are the class which contains the actual solution to the problem or to the agenda or the crisis. Next is amendments. So amendments here is like whenever an draft resolution is passed on, when the resolutions are drafted, a modification can be done through amendments. So it is a written statement that adds or deletes or changes to the amendments, to the drafted resolution, and changes or changes which is made, modification which is made in the drafted resolution is called as amendments. And this amendments will also have two types, that is friendly amendment, unfriendly amendment. Sriram, can you please brief in very short manner what is friendly amendment and unfriendly amendment?
Yes. Once the resolution is written, most probably they are not written nowadays. They are typed in laptops. They are allowed nowadays. So once that is done, amendments are processes while where you can change the phrases you have used. In the previous slides, we have seen the resolutions, sample resolution. Here they showed us about the clauses and the phrases which they use. So in the process of amendment, all the delegates will be present there, and the author will be explaining each and every clause which is used in that resolution. So in that resolution, those phrases which we have used, for example, affirms or claims, so these kind of phrases which we have used there can be corrected by delegates. So in case if a delegate is claiming that this would be a more appropriate clause to be used to the author, if the author accepts that and he corrects it immediately, that would be a friendly amendment. In case if the author doesn't accept that, then that opinion will be put on voting. So according to the voting, that will be done in the resolution. So that is an unfriendly amendment where author does not accept with the point of view of the other delegate.
Thank you, Sriram.
Yes.
So we have come to the end. So these are the procedures, procedures which will be followed in MUN sessions. And at the end of the MUN, what a student gets, what a student would have is like the outcome of the MUNs is worldly knowledge. Worldly knowledge refers to keeping up updates with world affairs just by looking into the articles or watching videos and new programs. It would be boring sometimes for the students. So by participating in MUNs, their knowledge of world will increase tremendously as they represent a country at a global level. So this is worldly knowledge. It will definitely help them to gain global level interest and interact with other delegates representing other countries. So as a delegate, they will be required to do some research on the allotted countries in depth. They'll have to do some analyzing, understanding their foreign policies, considering which factor would influence the behavior. So this would give them more knowledge. This would give them entire knowledge about the issue, background, history, um, and this will gain them a practical and thorough knowledge of world affairs. And next is confidence building. Uh, yes, it involves this MUN will involve people, meeting new people, interacting with unfamiliar faces, working in teams, working in teams to develop resolution to assign tasks and express views in the self-assured manner. So from preparing for the MUNs to the discussion, debates, and resolution made during the MUNs, students will feel much more comfortable about working with new people and expressing themselves easily. And this confidence level they gain will help them in their future interaction, where they would need to express themselves in a high pressure situation. So that's how MUN helps confidence building in student. Analytical skills, it's an ability of helping students at analytical skills. MUN is an ideal place to hone analytical skill. As in stimulated environment, they will be challenged and required to solve the task after examining the concerns of the other countries. So this way, their analytical skills would increase. That is next is problem solving skills. So MUN is mainly based on problem solving skills, as it places the student at the center of an organization designated to resolve global issues. Thus, problem solving is a skill that they will have to hone from beginning of the MUN. So, learning how to identify the key components of the topics, determining the factors to be kept in mind while deciding on the solution, and putting it all together to come up with final resolution that satisfies all the concerned countries will develop the problem solving skills in every student. And diplomacy. Diplomacy or the art of negotiation, which will help obviously by practicing diplomacy at MUNs, they will become more knowledgeable and experienced on how to conduct negotiation between two groups in a tactful and result-oriented manner. Public speaking, very, very important skill they possess when a student gets into MUN. MUN will lead every student to develop an efficient public speaking skill. They take practice, and the MUNs provide an ideal platform where they can explore and improve their capabilities. Public speaking is an integral part of MUN, as they are supposed to express their views and debate in front of the audience. Since they will make multiple speeches during the overall MUN event, so they will have several opportunities to improve with the public speaking powers. Networking, it is an ideal way to have a network maintained, like new friends. They build a connection that will come in handy later. They will meet so many other delegates, senior delegates, organizer, co-sponsor, judges, chairperson, higher authorities. So by making new contacts, meeting possible mentors, it would obviously cultivate their network for future use. Writing skills, as I told you, when it comes to drafting resolution. So in this way, they can improve their writing skills, a formal way of writing skills, a creative way of writing skills, a lot more disciplined way of writing skills will be developed. Leadership quality. So considering all the benefits listed above, it is not such to claim that your personality will flourish at, their personality will flourish at MUN. The independence, challenge, and teamwork will surely serve to enhance their leadership skill. as they take a charge as a representative of real world country. So, and totally Model United Nation Conference for an ideal way for every students to challenge themselves and improve their personal skills, communication skills, and global acumen. That is ability to make good judgment and quick decision. So there are, though initially this MUN is very daunting, seems to be very difficult. There are various training programs which is available to get trained on this aspect. So the MUN conference will definitely, the quality, what they distinguish quality and characters, what they inculcate will serve every student in their future endeavors. Thank you.
Very good, Mahalakshmi ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, questions? Thank you, Sriram.
Thank you, sir. You're welcome, sir.
So one request, sir, as I've already proceeded for a long session, if they have any doubts, they can personally message me, sir, so that I can do it.
They can ask in the group itself. I think very.
But I'm also
So
a
people,
learner.
for those of you who are worrying why we are having MUN, this year we are planning to conduct MUN in our school, which means like all of us will play a important role. It will be like how we conducted football tournament last time. It will be a mega event. It will run for 2-3 days, right, Mahalakshmi?
Yes, sir. 3 years at least, sir.
No,
3 days. I'm sorry, 3 days.
It will take 3 days. So we will be expecting students from different parts of Coimbatore, Tirupur, all major schools will come, and all of us will have a role to play. So
yes, sir, it's a long procedure.
Process. It will again showcases our organizing ability to host such event, and we should also have some knowledge about it. So that's the reason I insisted Mrs. Mahalakshmi to share, and she has done some research in this, and she has presented it, and aptly supported by students Sriram also. Yeah, now please ask your questions so that Mrs. Mahalakshmi gets clarified a little more. If not, she'll go find out and get it clarified. Yes, Mahalakshmi.
Yes.
Yeah.
My question, ma'am. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How MUN certificate will help the students, ma'am, in career?
How MUN
certificates? If they attend any MUN meeting, the certificates, how it will help the future?
Sir, it holds every skill, sir. So, as I told you, that MUNs will develop a certain knowledge in the students, like worldly knowledge, confidence building, analytical skills, problem solving skills, diplomacy, public speaking, networking skills, writing skills, leadership skills. So once if a student holds a certificate of MUN, it is clearly understood that he possesses all these qualities. So that's very important for a student for their future life. So carrying a certificate of MUN will give a detailed description on what all the qualities a student possesses.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
The questions?
Hello, ma'am. Good evening, all. This is Jalin.
Yeah, good evening, Jalin.
Hello.
Yes,
yeah,
Jalin.
ma'am. I have one question.
Yes, Jalin.
Ma'am, is it compulsory to speak in Model United Nation, ma'am? I have a doubt.
Yes, yes, it is compulsory. Every speaker has to speak at one point of time. So every delegate every delegate will get the chance to speak. If at all they hesitate to speak, the environment where they are and the people around them will tend tend the students to speak, but it is compulsory to speak, ma'am. At any point of time, every delegate has to speak.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, Maka ma'am, this is Priya.
Yeah, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, you have said about that this MU conducting on the month between January to March or August to September. Is there any reason behind that or?
Ma'am, I don't know the exact reason of it, but usually these MUNs will be conducted in this specified time because of the academic year, ma'am, academic running,
And
like
that's the correct answer. That's the correct answer. So not
yeah,
your
which will be related to their exams and other stuff. So they would choose to go with this.
Okay, and one more question, ma'am. This MUN, it's discussing about the current issues of the country and the remedies which is given by the students. If any remedy is given, the best remedy is given by the any of the student, it will be considered by the nation to take over that remedy or just for learning part.
No, ma'am, it has a path where it is translated. It would be taken for consideration. Recognition will be done for that particular solution which has been drafted, ma'am. It has various procedures to go about, but definitely and recognition is done for that issues, ma'am. It will be carried forward.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome.
In addition to that, ma'am, when national level MUN happens, when it happens in Mumbai, so
Yes, sir.
those points be considered valid. We'll also have delegates and some authorities. They will also consider MUN event when it happens in Mumbai. The
Hey,
national level.
Saravnan, you are either singing or you are running fast, man. Some problem
I'm
with
not
your network.
audible.
Sir, network, sir.
Yeah, you are
That's what,
either
when
going low or going.
okay, is it audible now, sir?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, the national level MUN selection happens in Mumbai. So when people go there, those again network problem.
So again, network issue.
Again.
So please draft your question
Ma'am,
to
you
my
stop sharing. Mahalakshmi, you please stop sharing. Stop sharing.
Oh, oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Now at least, yeah. Yeah, speak, Sarana.
Saravanan, sir?
Network totally out, I think, sir.
It's doing a favor to me, sir. So please
Now it is
personally
clear, sir?
draft your question.
Before
Yes,
the
sir?
debate starts, you better find a place in the good network.
Ma'am, I'm there. I don't know whether it is audible or not.
So you're audible, sir, but there is some disturbance in your voice. Voice is breaking.
Okay, start 7. Try once again.
Saravanan, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Quite okay.
It's okay now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The national level MUN selection happens in Mumbai.
Yes, sir.
So when I was in BVM school, our children, they went participated in that.
Okay.
So in that national level MUN conference, people, the delegates and authorities are from different fields, and they come there.
You type your question.
So I'm not telling about, I'm
Oh,
not asking questions.
Saravanan, it's breaking.
Voice is breaking, sir.
So
No,
he's
it's
trying
breaking,
to
dear.
share his
Whatever you want to say,
experience
put it in the chat box. Saravanan, whatever you want to say, put it in the chat box.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Question by somebody. Yes, Nataraj sir. Go ahead. No question?
No question, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mahalakshmi ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Well presented.
See you.
Revati, vote of thanks.
Sir, vote of thanks is myself, sir. Good evening to one and all present for this beautiful evening. I'm honored and lucky to present the vote of thanks. It has been a good opportunity to have this wonderful session. As we all know that a person of preparedness and sincerity and dedication can bring any complex topics in a lighter way. Today, our Mahalakshmi ma'am, as a person of sincerity and well preparedness, she has enlightened everyone with the process of the MUN and what is MUN and everything through our vibrant speech. We all liked your way of presentation, ma'am. As a school of leadership, I felt this is one of the important event through which our children can learn many qualities like whatever the Mahalakshmi ma'am pointed out, like leadership qualities and knowledge building and many skills, problem solving skills and decision making. They can view themselves in an arena of as a leader in an of a nation, so that they will have some more development of the qualities which we cannot get through any of the activities. I'm very happy as this is going to happen in our school this year, so that everyone we can witness this event, great Meha event, and as the sir added to that, we can also be a part of it. Actually, after this presentation, most of us were very eager to see those process, and we all willing to be a part of it. So that I would like to thank Principal Sir for organizing this event in our school, so that we all can get some sort of enlightenment through this program. Thank you, sir. Thank you all. And this is being as a great event. Every day we are learning so many things. Special thanks to Mahalakshmi ma'am. You did a wonderful job today.
Thank you.
We are very happy to have this session. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shruti ma'am.
Thank you, Mahalakshmi ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Tomorrow, whose meeting is it tomorrow?
Vijay Karthik sir.
That's fine. Thank you, all of you. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
Good night,
sir.
sir. Good night, sir.
Good night, sir. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Good night.